Vanessa and Dan's parents are deceased and she is being raised in a Bavarian convent school. Until one day, she is told she has inherited the estate of her last remaining relative. She must travel to Hong Kong to assume ownership, where she learns there are two main assets in the inheritance: a string of brothels and a large citrus plantation. She first encounters the lascivious Jackie Gruder, who happily takes Vanessa under her wing, with an eye toward indoctrinating the virginal girl into the joys of the flesh in all its variation. However, the plantation is another matter. It's being run by Adrian, who claimed to be the illegitimate son of her late uncle Richard. On those grounds, he is contesting the will he won the plantation. Add to the mix Adrian's jealous servant girlfriend, Tanei. Tanei is a Buddhist temple in Cambodia's ancient Angkor Wat complex. Jackie's sadistic brother-in-law, Major Kenneth Cooper, and his philanthropic wife Clay. And then there is the enigmatic friend of the family, Prince Benda, with his mysterious powers. Major Cooper lusts after young Vanessa and Adrian thinks to marry her to get legal title to the plantation. Meanwhile, Tanei uses witchcraft to drive Vanessa away from her Adrian, as Prince Benda uses his magical power to oppose her. At other times, this friend of the family uses his psychic power to copulate spiritually with Clay and Vanessa. As matters come to a head, Vanessa sells the brothels, and Adrian's challenge to the will is defeated. He tries to enlist Clay to come to his aid. She, however, arranges a tryst between her husband and Vanessa so that she can sue for divorce. But the Major's idea of romance involves whip and chain. So it's up to Jackie and Adrian to save the day. This is another 1970s Emmanuel style knockoff, a German version this time featuring Olivia Pascal as Emmanuel. It's particularly shameless in ripping off the first French Emmanuel, even being set in Asia, except that the character is a virgin fresh out of Catholic boarding school rather than a married swinger. The plot involves Vanessa finding out that she inherited a hotel in Hong Kong and becoming involved in love intrigue with various horny and grasping relatives. Pascal is absolutely beautiful and frequently undressed. She doesn't actually ever technically lose her virginity, but she gets a sensuous oriental massage, has an incredible scene with her cousin, has psychic love with an Indian Swami, and is put in bondage and whipped by an uncle. The most incredibly scene, though, has her dressed in her schoolgirl uniform and being spanked by a nun. I know this scene is sick and wrong for a lot of reasons. I don't want to imply in any way that this is a good movie, but for what it is, like the nun's hand on Pascal's body, it definitely leaves an impression. We like 1970s European soapcore movies so much more than what passes for that genre today. They made real movies which had actual plot, even if those plots were designed to lead to the full romance. Today's films are, or seem to be, just heavily edited films. Back then, they would photograph real live women rather than today's cement-like mounds. About Vanessa, the star Olivia Pascal was very beautiful, exuding an innocent charm that really helped a love movie. She could have benefited, I thought, though, from a quick armpit shave. She wasn't terribly furry there, though so that wasn't too jarring. The film had a lot of good shots of Hong Kong. However, I saw the version cut down by about 15 minutes for American cable TV. I'd really like to know what all was cut. Overall, among the better film of its kind. Olivia Pascal, in her first movie role, starred as Vanessa, a innocent, doe-eyed Catholic schoolgirl who traveled to Hong Kong to collect an inheritance from her deceased uncle. But soon, while she is taking a bath, so we witness her in her full glory. Soon she learns said inheritance include a string of bordello as well as a plantation. Granted, the plotline is a bit on the dark side and absolutely nothing to write home about. But thankfully this film is beautifully shot and has some true beauties in it. So we can absolutely overlook the silly lack of competent plot. Interview with director Hubert and director of photography Franz Lander, a 16-minute silent behind the scene featurette and a theatrical trailer for this film. We remember sneaking view of this classic flick on the cable channel of the time. Thought the combination of the photography, music, direction and locales made this a very exotic film. And of course, Olivia Pascal looked great. Would love to get this on video, even the cut cable version. Of course, there is a rampant love fever throughout, and the tension between Vanessa and Jackie built to a fantastic climax. No pun intended. All the actors look like they are having a good time, really getting into their roles. This film has been compared, wrongly I think, to Emmanuel. The 70s saw the start of the explicit erotic drama, and there were quite a few examples of the genre. A number of them were centered on sweet young innocent being catapulted into a world of love and sleaze in exotic location. Island of Thousand Delight and Joe Lemon's Felicity are two other noteworthy titles. On being told of her father's death and that she has inherited his estate, the eponymous Vanessa must travel to Hong Kong to claim her inheritance. It is not that simple though. The estate is run by Adrian, who believes that he should have the farm because he is the farming expert. Into this conflict is Adrian's voodoo practicing girlfriend and Vanessa's uncle Kenneth, who has a disturbing hobby of sadism, and a wife who is having an affair. A friend of the family, Prince Benda, can hypnotize people to do perverted things. Erotic films are not complete without a bit of female love, and this is provided by Jackie, who takes more than a friendly interest in Vanessa. It all sounds a bit of hash, but Hubert get it to work very well. The DVD on which this review is based contains an interview with Hubert who says that he does a lot of improvisation while filming. This could explain a lack of continuity in parts. After Adrian tried to force himself onto Vanessa, she does not seem to be perturbed by the experience in the following scene. A plus point is the location filming in Hong Kong. The scenes of the city and environs make good archive material. The castle at the start of the film is Karlskopstein in Austria. This film was one of the staples on Cinemax and its after dark shows in the early 80s. So got to see it numerous times then. Unfortunately, it was before the common use of the VCR, so never got a copy of it. One of the best scenes for someone into it, that is where Vanessa straps herself into a torture machine and gets whipped. It's short, but it's sweet and make you wish you were there for filming on that day. Other than that scene, the movie is fairly unremarkable. However, it was worth setting an alarm clock to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to catch it. It was one of those rare occurrences when bondage was being shown on TV. Vanessa Anden is a misfit student at a Bavarian convent. After the death of her uncle Richard, she traveled to Hong Kong to assume ownership of her uncle's estate. When she arrived, Prince Bando, a taxi driver later revealed to be a magician, delivered her to Richard's palatial home. There she met Jackie, the niece of Richard's attorney and closest friend Anthony Gruder. Jackie's sister Clay is married to the wealthy Major Kenneth Cooper. Clay engaged in a series of open extramarital affairs in an attempt to get Kenneth to divorce her. Vanessa learns she has inherited a chain of bordellos and a large citrus plantation, but the plantation administrator Adrian claimed to be Richard's illegitimate son and has contested the will. Adrian invites Vanessa to the plantation to persuade her to give it to him. He then attempts to rape Vanessa, but Kenneth interrupts him. Adrian's servant Tine, who is in love with Adrian, becomes furiously jealous of Adrian's interest in Vanessa. Tine uses sympathetic magic to cause Vanessa agony and leave her sick in bed. Jackie, suspecting magic, enlists Prince Bando's aid. Bando perceives Tine's magic is the source of Vanessa's pain and counters it. Eventually, the court rejects Adrian's challenge and awards the entire estate to Vanessa. Adrian tries to convince Vanessa he loves her, but Vanessa simplifies him. Vanessa decides to keep the plantation but has Anthony sell all the brothels, thus becoming very wealthy. Kenneth invites Vanessa to her home, drug her and assault her. Jackie, Adrian and Clay arrive as he does so, and Adrian rescues Vanessa. Kenneth asks Clay to come back to him, but she refuses. Vanessa hires Adrian to run the plantation again and return to Europe, leaving open the possibility of a future relationship someday. Pascal is absolutely beautiful and frequently undressed. She doesn't actually ever technically lose her virginity, but she gets a sensuous oriental massage, has an incredible scene with her cousin, has psychic love with an Indian Swami, and is put in bondage and whipped by an uncle. The most incredibly seen, though, has her dressed in her schoolgirl uniform and being spanked by a nun. I know this scene is sick and wrong for a lot of reasons. I don't want to imply in any way that this is a good movie, but for what it is, well, like the nun's hand on Pascal's body, it definitely leaves an impression. We like 1970s European softcore movies so much more than what passes for that genre today. They made real movies which had actual plot, even if those plots were designed to lead to the full romance. Today's films are, or seem to be, just heavily edited films. Back then, they would photograph real live women rather than today's cement-like mounds. About Vanessa, the star Olivia Pascal was very beautiful, exuding an innocent charm that really helped a love movie.